Greetings and welcome to this week's edition of Trade Theory. This is Kevin Jefferson, the curator of Trade Theory, and we're starting off with Bitcoin. And so we can see from last week where I had the possible pullback point price blew through there and is starting to is pulling back even further than what we had anticipated. And so based on what I see here and going to the lower time frames, what I would look for, I definitely wouldn't buy right now, but I would look for a possible move back up to the close above the 116.027 area, and then a pullback off of there. And then if I got that pullback in a lower level entry confirmation, then I'd buy into Bitcoin right now. So we need a little bit of confirmation before we did that, either on a lower time frame showing us something. This is the 4 hour. So I would look for price to actually exceed this point right here. So like to say 116.095 ish area, price closing above there and then pulling back and giving us an entry opportunity. Then I'd look for a buy on Bitcoin. So if price does not close back above this area and give us an entry opportunity, then I'd be looking to see if price closes below 108.349, actually specifically 108.14530. If price closes below there, then I'm looking for a possible pullback and a continuation short. So we'll watch this. Matter of fact, I'm going to put this here as a downside area of interest. So I'm going to type this up as we speak. A downside, possible downside area of interest, 10, 15, 25. And I'm just going to make this, make that orange, okay? Okay, now drag this up here and play with it. Work this, okay? And that's my area of interest for the downside. And so price breaks below here, then all bets are off on the buy, and we're looking for a pullback and a short. So just to kind of give us some reference points about why we don't want to get in now, because price is not giving us the okay to buy back in. But that's my inclination, is that we want to look for a buy, and it'll probably be over the next day or so, maybe the next 3 days, before we get a chance to buy back in in a safe way. All right, so moving on to WTI crude. Let me save that. WTI crude oil has continued lower, so I know it hit the third target level that I had previously. And so I'm looking for price to pull back and reset up possibly around the 64.89 area. It could go as high as the 69.73 area, but the first area I'm looking at is the 65 area right around here, 64.9, 65, and seeing if we want to get a reset and a possible continuation lower. So we'll watch that. But gold, WTI crude is continuing to show bearish behavior, and it's actually really giving us a solid, looking like a solid long-term move downward, honestly. So after this pullback and a confirmation shorter, I look for a major multi-day, maybe even multi-week push to the downside. So definitely bearish on oil right now. Okay, moving up to gold. So nothing to do on gold. If you got in down here after this consolidation, you just continue to ride gold. It hasn't given us an entry point since it's broken out of this consolidation area. So if you were already bullish on it because we were buying it along the way, then if you stayed in on some portions of your position, you're really happy. But right now, it's not the time to get on gold. It's at all-time highs. We want to wait for a pullback and opportunity. Speaking of pullbacks and opportunity, let's go on to the indices. This is the Dow Jones, and we had a pullback. Actually, we had a buy hypothesis on here. Price closed, hit our take profit. I just left this on here for just so you can remember what we did. And then we had a pullback down to this area, and price is starting to V-bottom out. So looking for price to continue higher. We don't know yet what could happen, because if you didn't get in down here, you don't want to be in. But looking for price to push above this high here, the 46.759 area. All right, looking at the NASDAQ, we did have our pullback here. We had a pullback set for roughly 24,070. It went a little below there and gave us an opportunity to buy in. And we're looking for price to continue higher out of that pullback area. Did I set an upside target? Okay, so I had a possible max extension point already up here from back in August, going to as high as, what's that? Does it show? That's 23,000. I'm sorry, it's not going to show. I don't know why it's showing on there. But up to this point right here. So we do have some upside on here and I can't see it on my chart right now. Let me bring it down. Okay, there we go. And so roughly 26,409 was what we had set back in August. So we'll see what happens there. Okay, S&P, we had another pullback point measured on here, and price hit it almost to the point, actually a little bit less, a little bit higher than what we thought. So prices pulled back here, and we're looking for bullish behavior on here on the S&P 500 as well. And I've got an upside extension up in the 7,200 range, 72 and some change. Yeah, there we go, 7240-ish range, 7250 is what we're looking at on the upside for S&P 500. Okay, so we've had the pullbacks in the market that we were looking for, and now we have the opportunities to buy in, and we're looking for price to continue higher on the indices. And so hope you get a chance. Now, price could fall. We've got time, but I'm looking for price. If it closes above the previous highs, 67, 62 in this instance, then we're looking for a pullback in the entrance higher as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. Just to recap, Bitcoin has pulled back and could possibly give us another entry, but only if we eclipse the 115,909 area again, and then wait for a pullback over a couple of days, give us an entry there, and then we buy. If it closes below this downside area, we're looking for a sell, so we're going to wait on that. Oil is bearish, but we're waiting on a pullback on that based on the resistance that we're looking for. Get a pullback and then another short entry possibly there. And then gold, like I said, we're staying aside on. And then the indices, as I mentioned, we got our pullbacks, and we're looking for more upside on those. So I hope those are beneficial to you guys. Hope you have a wonderful week, and until next time, happy trading.